Hello, everybody. Welcome to Honors Algebra 2. I need you to put away your computer, please. Thank you. We're taking notes. The best part of my day is I just love all my kids. I got really great students this year. I am very blessed. I am very blessed, guys. I'm telling you, I love all my classes this year. There's been times I thought about quitting, but not this year so far. So you, but I'm telling you, you guys are great kids. Okay, this is the last thing we're going to cover over polynomials. You probably do not need a calculator for this or any part of this, but there are some vocabularies that you might want to learn. There is an assignment that goes with it, okay? All right, here we go. Here's your warm-up. It says name the following. So let's go ahead and count our terms. How many terms do you see? 1, 2. Those. Hey, you guys want to shout out to anybody? Be loud.
My boy Jackson over here in the back.
You might have to come say it right here.
Alright, you sit down.
It's going to be a meeting.
I got a shout out to my boy Jackson in the back. He's back. He's right here now.
Yeah, I have a shout out to Jax.
He's a pretty cool dude. Alright, thank you.
Peace out.
Peace out. Okay, anybody else?
Is the warm-up something that we did last week, or is it just a random warm-up?
This is what we did before you were gone. Okay. All right, so if you take a look, you got two terms, so that means it's a binomial. A term is separated by plus or minus, so here's a minus, 1, 2. What is the highest degree right here? A 3, so what's a 3? It is a cubic binomial, and that's how you name it specifically, okay? All right, next part I want you guys to write in your notes is the word factor theorem. So basically this is what a factor theorem is, an expression where x minus a is a factor of a polynomial. So basically, if and only if the value of a is a 0 of the related polynomial. Say for example, if you have x minus a, you're setting that everything equal to 0, and when you solve for x, you get x equals a. You are getting a 0. In other words, you are finding the x-intercept. That's what a factor theorem is. It is where a factor, which is multiplication, of a polynomial, if and only if the value of a is a 0 of the related polynomial function. That, you set it equal to 0. All right. So if you look at this problem right here, you have a 0. You have 3 and negative 1 over 5. Now, notice the symbol that's going around it. There's actually a name for that symbol. If you guys can find it and look it up, that would be a great bonus question. Test questions. I just call it the squiggly because I know I looked it up, but it's like a long name and I can't remember it. So if you know what that name is, go for it, okay? That'd be a great test question, wouldn't it, for bonus? So if you know what it is. All right, so what you are going to do is this. These are zeros. These are your x-intercept, okay? First one, x is going to cross at 3. The other one, x is going to cross at negative 1 over 5. You want to write this in factor form. So how would you write this in factored form? Okay? Well, what you do is you want to solve and set it equal to 0. How can I make this equal to 0? You subtract 3, just like that. What you do to one side, you do to the other side. So now you have x minus 3 is equal to 0. Just like that. Okay? So the first factor form you have is x minus 3. Did you guys see that? You're setting it equal to 0. See the word zeros? You're setting it equal to 0. You're setting it to find the x-intercept. How do I solve for this to make it equal to 0? You multiply times 5. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Remember, you guys are so used to solving for x and y, and now you're wanting to make it set equal to 0. Add 1, cancel. 5x plus 1 is equal to 0. Do you see your other set of zeros? 5x plus 1. So guess what your other form is? 5x plus 1 is equal to 0. That is your factor form, okay? And factor forms are real easy to try to help you solve for zeros or x-intercept. All right, now that you found your factor form, I also want you guys to try to find your standard form, okay? If there is a ton of zeros, like 5, 6, x to the 5th, x to the 7th, we're not going to do this, okay? But I do want you to be able to at least do a cubic or a quartet. Sounds good? How would you guys go about writing this in standard form? And what is a standard form? It is where you set it, where you have the highest degree, writing it to what? The lowest degree, okay? All right, so now you have x minus 3 times 5x plus 1 equal to 0. So how do you guys write standard form? What do you do when you have two sets of parentheses like that? You just multiply. So I'm going to take this one times all of it, or vice versa, okay? So you can take this one times 5x. What is x times 5x? 5x squared. Negative 3 times 5x, negative 15x. Remember how I showed you guys how to do it by columns? Okay? Next, you're going to take it and multiply it times positive 1. X times 1, I'm going to write plus x, negative 3 times 1, negative 3. And then all we do is combine like terms. Remember doing that? So 5x squared minus 14x minus 3 is equal to 0. And there you have your standard form. So are you telling me that these two guys are exactly the same thing? Right? One's in factor form, one's in standard form. I'm making a video. You guys can just leave a few pages and start where we are. Not a few pages, just probably top half of a blank. Okay. All right. Any questions? You want to shout out? Shout out. We're going to shout out to Grace and Ella. They decided to join us. Yay! Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Okay. And River's here. Niaz is here. Ian's here. SQ's here. Braden's here. Quam's here. And Laurel's here. And we missed the rest of you, but here's your video. All right. Let's do the next one together. Write this one down. We're going to find the zeros again. Now, the letter M right here stands for multiplicity. Multiplicity means what? It's just repeated. Remember that? It means it is repeated, okay? And when you have a multiplicity of 2, we do what's called a bounce when we graph. So that will come back to you guys in a little bit. All right. See, I got that email again about attendance. I know, but I can't mark them absent because they're over in the arena. You know, that's not, that's all. Oh, yeah. All right. X equal to 2, correct? I want to set it equal to 0. So how do you guys move it over to get it equal to 0? Subtract 2, subtract 2. So x minus 2 is equal to 0. Box that in. Okay. There's your first zeros. Next one. X is equal to 5. How do I set that one equal to zeros? Anybody? Minus 5 minus 5. So x minus 5 is equal to 0. But how many of these do I have? 2. So if I were to write this in factor form, it would look like this, right? X minus 2, and then x minus 5 square. Is that what multiplicity of 2 means? Square is equal to 0. And there you have your factored form. Okay? So far so good? Nothing crazy, right? All right. How would I write this in standard form? There's only 3, so we can do this one. So x minus 2 times x minus 5 times x minus 5 equal to 0. All right. Little word of analytical thinking. What do you guys think is easier to do? multiply the first two together, and then that one, or multiply these guys together, and then that one.
Those two.
These two right here, because you guys know these are x minus 5, and it's real easy to double and do all that, right? So we're going to do this one first. You guys agree? This one first. Okay, so we're going to bring this one down, x minus 2. I'm going to put my finger over it. X times x is x squared, okay? Negative 5 times x is negative 5. Negative 5 times x. Don't you guys always just double that middle term? Remember doing that? Okay. What's negative 5 times negative 5? Positive 25, right? Equal to 0. Can you now multiply a binomial times a trinomial easily? Yeah. So let's go ahead and do that one. We're going to take this times all of that. X to the third minus 2x squared. Correct? Next one. X times negative 10x is negative 10x squared. Negative 2 times negative 10 is positive 20x. Lined up your like terms. It makes it real easy to add. Okay? And then you got 25. X times 25 is 25x. Negative 2 times 25 is negative 50. Can you guys now just add it up? Okay? X to the third minus 12x squared plus 45x minus 50 is equal to 0. And there you have your standard form. Any questions so far? Okay, I'm going to do a quick review real quick with that part before we move on, okay? You guys ready? I want to do a quick review. All right, if I have x minus 4 squared, how would you write that in standard form? X squared? What's negative 4 times 2?
16.
Nope.
Oh.
Negative 4 times 2. Double. Negative 8x. What's negative 4 squared? Plus 16. Do you guys see that? Remember doing that? Because it's easier. X squared, negative 4x, negative 4x plus 16. Doesn't these two always double in the middle? You guys remember doing it? Okay, here's another one. What's x plus 3 squared? How do you write that in factored form quickly? X squared? Just like that. You guys see how we just did that? Okay. Pick another number. How about x minus 11 squared? Write that in factor form. X squared 121. All right. Is that coming back to you guys a little bit? Okay. But just easier just to double when it's a square or something. All right. So that's why it was easier to do these two instead of these two. So, any questions? Okay. Let's you guys try to find the zeros of that one real quick. Okay? Go ahead and see if you guys can do the write me in factor form. I just want factor form. Okay? See if you guys can do the factor form real quick. Your turn. The rest of you, pause your video if you're watching. Okay. I gotta do it, otherwise it's a long pause. Okay, here we go. So x minus 0 to the third, right? Here's this one. X equals negative 2 over 3. 3x equals negative 2. 3x plus 2 is 0, so 3x plus 2. You notice it's always the opposite, equal to 0. And there's my factor form. Write it pretty. X to the third, 3x plus 2, x plus 1 equal to 0. I think you guys might start seeing a pattern, how you just kind of move this up and the sign is opposite every time. You guys starting to see that pattern? Sign's always opposite, and you just kind of move the coefficient up, leading coefficient. Okay? Is that what you guys got?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to pause too long on the video. Okay. Good? Not bad? Can I move on to the next page? All right, you guys try that one real quick. This one, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. I feel like I should sing the Jeopardy song, but I can't sing. Na 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 na. Who does? He does? Yeah, just factor form. I know you guys know how to multiply, so I'm not gonna, on the lesson part, keep doing that over and over, because I think you guys can do that. Okay. Just be careful with your digits. Okay. But if there's like 4 factor forms, I'm not gonna, no. 5, no. I'm not that crazy. Might be a good bonus questions, but no. Okay. All right. Okay, check your answers. Factor form. That's all I want, because I know you guys can distribute, okay? So 3x minus 1. You guys starting to see a pattern? It's always opposite, right? And then what's your second one? X plus 2 or minus 2? Minus 2 to what power? 3. There you go. What is the degree of this polynomial, by the way?
Quartic.
It's a quartic. There's a 1 here, so 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay? That's a 4th degree. It's a quartic. Do you guys see that? But we don't know what polynomial it is because you have to multiply it all out in standard form. All right, any questions so far? Okay, look at these two. What do you notice is different about these two, and how are they the same? What function is this? What's the name of this one?
Cubic.
It's a cubic, okay? Is it cubic? Is that an odd or an even power function?
Odd.
Odd. All right, it's an odd power. What do you guys notice about the in behavior?
One goes up continuously, one goes down.
Very good. So it's opposite. And notice I start in the negative. So your leading coefficient, is your leading coefficient a positive or a negative number? It is a positive. Why? Because you're starting in the negative. Opposite, odd. Remember that? All right, look at this one. What is the name of this one?
Quintic.
Not quintic. Quartic. Even or odd power? Even. What do you notice about the in behavior? Both positive. So what is the leading coefficient of this one, you think? It is positive. If it had been negative, it would have gone like this, right guys? If this was a negative, it would have gone like opposite. Do you guys see that? All right, you guys good? Because you're going to be graphing those. Any questions so far? Yes?
How do you know if it's quartic and even or odd?
Okay, I'm going to have to get you there later. All right, not during this video. All right, they're even, same direction. Odd, opposite ends. Pretty much that's it. And then later on I'll get you caught up. All right, okay, odd multiplicity. Notice odd multiplicity. Remember how this one, it just cuts across the x-axis? That's called a cut. You guys remember that? Okay, if it's odd, you guys remember how it kind of curves a little bit and then goes back up? What is this called? A slide. What if it's to the 5th? It's a slide, but it's a little skinnier than that one. If it's a 7th, it's still a slide, but it'd be some more steep. You guys see how it's more steep? It's more stretch. See how this one's curving, and then it curves, and this one goes up a little straighter, okay? So you guys are going to be drawing that. What if it's an even multiplicity? 2. It's a bounce. This is called a bounce. You hit the x-axis, you go back up. Or you can hit the x-axis and you go back down. Notice what happens when the even goes even higher. What do you guys notice about the shape? It goes a little bit more narrow. It's called a stretch, okay? When it's more narrow, the word for that is called a stretch. And when it's more like pushed down where it's wider, that is actually called a compress. It's more compressed, like you're pushing it down to make it flat. Or you're pulling it up to make it skinnier. That's a stretch, okay? All right, you guys good? Okay, now sometimes, look at this one. Even or odd? X is negative 3. X is 3, okay? So you got to figure out if it's odd or even. Look at this. Is that odd or even? Oops, sorry. Is that odd or even? Multiplicity. Odd. X to what power? 1. It's a cut. Okay? Look at this right here. Odd or even multiplicity? Odd. What do you think it is? Is it higher? Is it 1 or 3 or higher? Higher. 3, 5, 7, right? Because it's a slide. How about this one right here? What do you think this is? Even or odd? Even. It hit the X and it came right back down. Okay? How about this one? Notice I'm only looking at the x-intercept. That's an odd. What power? 1. It went straight through. No slide. Are you starting to see that? Okay?
Julia
All right.
Boss, you are needed in the office. Julia Boss, you are needed in the office.
Write that one down in your book. This one you guys, you get more and more in a little bit. Okay, write this one in your book and we're going to try to figure out. You never want to figure out your bounce, your slide, or your cut in standard form. You do it in factor form. Do you guys hear that? We always do it, the bounce, the slide, and the cut, you do it in factored form, not your standard form. So keep that in mind. You have to learn those words, okay? All right, guys, take a look at this one. What is the degree on x plus 8? What's the degree? That's a 1, right? If you were to solve for it, x is equal to negative 8. Is that a cut, a slide, or a bounce? This is a cut. Look at this one. If you solve for it, it's x equals negative 2 over 7. It's a 5. Is that a cut, bounce, or slide? Slide. See, I'm just putting s on it. Okay? Set this one equal to 0. X is equal to 4. 4. Cut, bounce, or slide? Bounce. And that's all you guys need to know for now. Okay? So far, so good? All right. Write that one and tell me what do you think it is. Cut, slide, or bounce. Each one of those factor forms. I hope you're writing it down. It should be in your notebook, even if you know it, the next one. Okay. Hello. We're making a video. Hi, Isabella. Your name is now mentioned in the video.
Yay.
She's so excited. As everybody's coming in, they're getting their name mentioned. Except Jackson. Jackson decided to do a shout out.
Shout out to my boy Jackson in the back.
All right, guys, take a look. This one has a variable. It's to the 4th power. Cut, slide, or bounce? Bounce. Next factor form, 2. Cut, slide, or bounce? Bounce. Next one, cut, slide, or bounce? Slide. Next factor form, cut, slide, or bounce? Bounce. All right, do you guys see that? Everybody good? Because you're going to be graphing this in just a little bit, okay? You can start where we are. Just leave yourself about 2 pages. Okay, just in case. Any questions? All right, let's go to the next one. Identify the root and multiplicity. Okay, this is the highest degree is a 3. So you got x to the 3rd minus 9x squared plus 27x minus 27. What is your highest degree right there? 3. What do you think this degree is right here? Multiplicity? What do you think that multiplicity is right there? 3. Because why? It is a slide. So it's got to be 3, 5, 7, or 9. Right? Okay? You guys see how you just like analyzing graphs is all you're doing. You're not finding anything specific. You're just saying, hey, what multiplicity you have? Why is it a slide? Why is it a cross? Why is it a bounce? All right? Yeah. Not yet, because we're about to go to the next part.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet, because I need you to here for the graph. What is this one? What do you think that multiplicity is right there? A bounce, so it might be a 2, right? How about this one? What do you think that multiplicity is? 1, because it's a cut. You guys see that? All right, you guys good? Okay, write that down because now you guys are going to graph. We're almost done. Okay. I don't want you to miss this part. That's why. Okay. All right, write that problem down. We're going to make a sketch of the graph. You don't have to tell me the minimum. You don't have to tell me the maximum. We are just looking for multiplicity and zeros. Hi, Miss Caitlin. Hi, Miss Abby. You are on video. You now have a shout out. Ha ha. I didn't mention your last name, okay? For you guys, since you weren't here and I still kept talking, teaching. Yeah. You can skip about 2 pages on your notes and start where we are. All right, you guys good? Okay, before you do anything else, you got to solve and figure out what you're going to do. This one, 2, does it have a variable?
No.
You don't do anything with that one, okay? It's only going to help you see where you start. This one, 3x plus 1 equal to 0. Solve for x. What is x equal to? Negative 1/3. Are you guys starting to see a pattern? Okay? This one, x plus 3, set it equal to 0. How do you solve for that one? What's your answer? X is equal to negative 3. I guess I should box these in so you guys can kind of see, right? This one, x minus 1 is equal to 0, so x is equal to 1. You guys see all that real quick? All right. Make a sketch. There's your x, there's your y. Make your x really long, your y can be short, okay? All right. Hello, Miss Aspen. You are now on video. Okay. It's just a shout out, honey. Look at this one. Negative 1/3. This is 0. Here's negative 1/3. You guys agree? Right? Take a look at your degree. It's a 2. Cut, slide, or bounce. It's a square. Cut, slide, or bounce. Bounce. It's an even, so I'm going to put a B right there. Okay? You guys good? This one, negative 3. Over here is negative 3. Are you guys seeing how I'm just making a sketch? It doesn't have to be perfect. Can I put a negative 3 right there? No, it has to be to the left, right? That's all it needs to be. Yes.
If it's to the second power, will it always be a bounce?
Yes. Any even number, 2, 4, 6, 8, will be a bounce. This is a 4. Do you guys see that? Is that a bounce, cut, or slide? Bounce, because it's an even power. You guys seeing it? Okay. 1. Here's 1. Oh, I call that 1. Does that look like a 1 to you? I think that's close enough, right? Look at 1. It's a 3. So is it a cut, slide, or bounce? Slide. And if I were you on a slide, I would put like a different color and kind of put a little line above it. Do you guys see that? That'll help you with your slide. Okay? So far, so good? All right, let's go ahead and look at our degree. What is the degree of this function? Well, it's 2 plus 4 plus 3. So what is the degree of this one? 9. When it's a 9, is your graph going to be opposite or in the same direction for your end behaviors? Opposite. So it's going to start down here, end up here, or it's going to start here and end down here. Is that right? Okay. What is going to help us determine where it starts is going to be your leading coefficient. Okay? You don't actually have to do the math in your head. You just need to know if it's plus or minus. 2 times 3, plus or minus. 2 times 3, plus or minus. Positive or negative? Positive. Times 1. Positive or negative? Times another 1. Positive or negative? Positive. I'm just going to write POS for positive, okay? I guess I should write it out for those who are not here. So it's positive and it's odd. So is it going to stop up here or start down here? Remember, opposite, odd. Start up here or start down here? Think about it. It's going to start down here and it's going to finish up here for your end behavior. Right, guys? All right, so here's your graph. You ready? Okay, watch what I do. Eyes up here. Don't do it just yet. I start here, so I'm going to start right here. I'm going to hit 3, and what is going to happen at 3? It's going to be a bounce. Did you guys see that bounce? Go to -1/3. What is it going to happen there? It's also going to be a bounce. You guys see the bounce? Don't care about the y-intercept. What happens at 1? It's going to do what? Slide, correct? And when you slide, does it go back down? Does it go in the opposite direction? It goes in the opposite direction. Did my graph match up what I thought it would be? Yes. Your degree is a 9. How many turns should you have? It's always -1. So if your degree is a 9, your turn should be 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you guys see how that just worked? Okay? So there's your sketch of the graph. Not bad? Can you guys do it? Try this one. Write this one down. Do we have more coming? Some of them were outside, like test driving stuff, and so they didn't know they were supposed to come back, is what I heard, so I didn't take attendance. So as soon as they're walking in, we all should do a shout out and say hi, huh? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and go now. Okay, you guys good? All right, let's take a look. By the way, this one, x is equal to 0. Cut, slide, or bounce?
Bounce.
2, it's a bounce. This one, x is equal to 2. Cut, because what power is it? A 1. Do you guys see that? This one, x is equal to -5/2, right? This one is a slide. Everybody agrees? Okay. Draw your x-axis. Draw a short little y-axis. You guys notice we're just doing x. And by the way, spread them out. Don't make it like bunched up together. Give yourself a chance to graph. All right, 0. Here's my 0. And what am I doing at 0? It's going to be a bounce, right? 2. What's happening at 2? It's going to be a cut. Did you guys see how I just label them to help me? -2, 5. 5/2. It's going to be a slide. And I'm going to do this for my slide. So I remember it's a slide. All right, am I going too fast? You guys okay? All right. Let's look at our degree. What's our degree? 2 plus 1 plus 3. What's our degree? 2 plus 1 plus 3 is 6. So is our graph going to go opposite directions or in the same direction? Same direction. So now we're going to go figure out our leading coefficient to say, do they point up or they both point down, right? All right. So we got -2 times 1. Do you guys notice I'm only looking at the very first term? Times 2. Negative times a positive is a negative. So my graph is going to start down here, and it's going to end down here. You guys agree? Right? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to use a different color marker. I'm actually going to use a highlighter. I start here. I'm going to hit this. What's going to happen right here? It's going to slide up. Do you guys see the slide? And then it's going to come down to the next point. What's going to happen to the next point? It's going to be a bounce. It's going to come up, and then the next point, what's going to happen? It's going to be a cut. Did it happen and match what I thought it was going to do? Yeah. So some of you might want to do this in pencil first. Start in the same spot, end in the same spot, slide, bounce, and cut. Not bad, right? All right. Any questions? Can you guys do it? Do we need to do one more? Okay, one more. There you go. Try that one. Okay, and we're going to call it a day. It's not bad. It seems worse than it is, okay? Because it's new. Have you guys done this before? No, this is new. It's like learning graphs, so it's not bad. All right. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a moment, and we're going to finish it. Okay. So the first one, x is equal to 0, that's going to be a cut because it is to the first power. Next one, x is equal to 2, and it's going to be a bounce. Very good. Next one, x is equal to -4, and it's going to be a slide. Good. See how you guys are starting to pull stuff out? Did you actually have to set this equal to 0 and solve every single time? You guys starting to see a pattern, right? In your solving. Draw your line. There's your x. Here's your y. We are posting this online. All right, you guys good? Okay, 0. Cut. Okay, you guys do it and see if you match mine. 2 is a bounce. -4 is a slide. And I'm going to draw a line over mine to help me with my slide. So, okay. What is your degree? 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is both direction or opposite direction? Both. Positive times positive times positive. So what's your leading coefficient? Positive. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to end up here. You guys agreed? Right? Start up here. Oh, we need to do a shout out. Hi, shout out. Hi, Adriana. Shout out. You on video. Okay, here we go. Come down. And then what are you going to do? You're going to slide. When you slide, you go on the other side, don't you guys? Right? Okay. Come up to the next point. What are we doing right there? We are going to cut. Notice my graph looks kind of wonky, but okay. Maybe I should go to the center. And then you're going to go to the next point. What are going to happen right there? It's going to be a bounce. Do you guys see the bounce? Can you tell the difference between a slide and a bounce and a cut? All right. Did your graph occur like you thought it would? You are finished. Okay? You are finished. Any questions? All right. Your quiz is most likely going to be like one problem of each kind because they do take time. Okay? So your test is on Tuesday.
0 multiplicity. One's not gonna be doable.
Yeah. All right. You guys good? I'm proud of you guys. I'm telling you, you guys are one of the best classes ever. Okay? All my classes are. Huh? Yeah.